Yeah, welcome to the yard, it's that Birdland sound. PigTownSports, yeah, we holding it down. Bleeding orange, dripping purple, that's the code we claim. Crab cake, hustle, Old Bay in the veins. From Camden Yards to the air, we all the same. That beat more fire running deep in our veins. From the block to the booth, yeah, we bringing that flame. PigTownSports, steady carving the game. Talking stats and facts, we don't cap, we react. Breaking plays, dropping gems, keep it all exact. Ravens on the rise, O's back in their zone. We the next up, Baltimore zone. Yeah, microphone heat when we speak that truth. It's PigTownSports, yeah, we speak for the youth. Yeah.
Grab a crab cake plate, pour that natty bowl. When the mics turn on, man, you already know. We the best up and coming Orioles podcast today. Spitting stats and facts with that Old Bay flame. From the block to the booth, we don't play no games. PigTownSports, remember the name. Woo!
Birdland, what's going on? You know, funny story is I let my 7-year-old, or my soon-to-be 7-year-old, listen to that intro song today, and he looks me in the eye and he goes, "It's not too bad." And I'm like, "Not too bad?" He goes, "Yeah, kind of cool." And I was like, "All right, cool." It's been a slow week in Baltimore, hasn't it? I mean, not much has really gone on. You know, baseball's been kind of quiet, and then bam, 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night, you know, the Orioles, of all people, announce a trade of Grayson Rodriguez. Like, completely unexpected, completely silent from everybody around baseball. They just go off and announce a trade. Grayson Rodriguez for Taylor Ward. And I remember sitting in my bed, and I was in Discord with a lot of guys here on YouTube right now, British Raven and Sean and some other guys. And just sitting there thinking to myself, like, what the hell just happened? Like, Grayson Rodriguez, like, what happened? Like, knowing the backstory of Grayson, like, knowing that he still has 4 years control, knowing that the Angels were trying to trade Taylor Ward last year and decided to ultimately keep him, like, he has one, just everything running through my mind. And I'm like, that's it? Like, that's it? Like, we just traded Grayson Rodriguez for a rental? Like, everything was just blowing off in my mind. Like, people were texting me like, "Oh my God, what do you think? What do you think?" I had no idea. I had no idea what to think. I couldn't even process it properly. It didn't make sense to me. And I just didn't know what to think. Like, I've been a big Grayson guy. I mean, I've been on here plenty of times. You guys can pull back old lives, and he's a guy that I wanted to keep, and it was a guy that I was trying to convince people that was going to help the Orioles this year, and they should probably get used to seeing him and having to rely on him. And hey, you want to talk about a carpet pull or a rug pull or whatever you people want to call it, just gone. Like, there was no, I mean, you're talking about a guy with 4 years control. Like, it's very easy. And I mean, you've been hearing the national pundits all day long. I'm sure the radio station, the same thing, is what the hell are the Orioles doing? This is a massive win for the Angels. What could they possibly be thinking? They need pitching. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone saying that is wrong, but I think there's more to it. Let's get into it a little bit. So Grayson pitched 43 games for the Orioles. And I think we all know that that probably wasn't enough. Pitched to a 4.11 ERA, 109 earned, 78 walks, 259 Ks. 259 Ks, and I want to say he was like 238 innings or something like that. Pretty solid. 251 average against, 725 OPS against, and 129 whip, 380 FIP, 368 xFIP. Pretty solid. I remember a couple years ago before, like, I think it was 2023, I remember I pulled into my daycare lady's driveway, and I remember the tweet had came out, or something had came out that Grayson Rodriguez would win a Cy Young one day in Baltimore. Like, everybody was that high on him, that he was that good. And listen, me, and I'm sure you and probably everybody else listening to this video after today, all probably felt the same way. We've got ourselves a good one, and everybody kind of rallied around him. Now, that's not saying that Grayson was bad by any means. Did he live up to that in his time here? No, I don't think he did. Not saying he didn't pitch well. He pitched pretty dang good. But we never saw that dominant Cy Young stuff. Now, there was flashes. Plenty of time there was flashes. 2023 playoffs wasn't the greatest. 2024 came back, started off really hot. I mean, guy won 13 games, only pitching, 20 games or something like that. He won 13 of them. So he was off to a really, really big start. And, I mean, what could you say? Like, there was moments with, bases loaded, and he was throwing 100 miles an hour past Anthony Rizzo and stuff like that. Like, you saw big moments out of Grayson, and then there was times he got lit up. Look, I'm not blaming him. That's been kind of the MO of the Orioles pitching staff over the years. But there was injuries in 22. He got sent down in 23, and then I think did he finish 23? I think he finished 23. But then you had the debacle in 24, and you could clearly read his lips in the bullpen that day. I don't feel right. Whether he was allowed to come back for the playoffs or not, that rumor's been kind of floated around a couple times between different people and whatnot. But either way, he missed the playoffs, and then it come in 2025, and the last day of spring, or his last appearance in spring, he was throwing 89 miles an hour. And he came out and said, I just probably wasn't ready. I forget some of the stuff that they had said. That could have been the problem. And then it was like, well, maybe I'm a little bit sore. And then like one thing led to another, and then one thing led to another. And I think that injury like bounced around between, okay, is it the lat? Is it the shoulder? Is it the elbow? Is it the forearm? Like we heard, I don't know, what was it, 15 different injuries out of this guy for like a 2-week span. And Brandon Hyde wouldn't say a whole lot about it. Mike Elias never says anything. It ultimately didn't pitch at all last year. And waited for a while to claim that he needed surgery. Claims he had this injury for 4 years and waited, which, why would you do that? Is a question for me. Maybe it was also a question for the Orioles. I'm not 100% sure, but regardless, something happened to lead the Orioles to trade a guy with 4 years control for just one player who's on an expiring contract to boot. Was it injuries? Your guess is as good as mine. I'm going to tell you that a normal baseball team doesn't give up on a guy with 4 years control because of injuries. Just flat out. I mean, how many guys have we seen come back from 2-3 different surgeries? Kirby Yates did it. Like, teams don't give up on these kind of guys. The Orioles did. And let's take a listen to what Ken Rosenthal had to say on foul territory earlier. And you guys let me know. We're going to talk about it after he's done.
I think I have a little bit better feel for where the Orioles are on this, and I'll try to relay that now. Obviously, Grayson Rodriguez, even if he's healthy in 2026, is going to be probably on some kind of innings limit. He's not going to pitch 150 innings in this next season after all that he has been through. Hasn't pitched since July 31st, 2024 in the major leagues. So that's 2026. Then you ask, okay, that's fine, but what about the next 3 years? Because he's under club control for all of them. And that is where the Orioles are obviously showing a vote of no confidence here in his ability to stay healthy long term.
A vote of no confidence in his ability to stay healthy long term. Again, good baseball teams don't give up on players when they have 4 years control because of an injury. You just don't, especially young players. Which leads me to believe, look, I've been getting ridiculed about this all day on Twitter, and I'm fine with that because it's what I believe, and I'm sticking with it. Something else happened because the Orioles would not give up on a player who had injury concerns, who they literally just said last week was healthy and expected to pitch in spring training and be ready to go, and just dump him. It just doesn't happen. It's been 476 days since he last threw a pitch on a major league mound. That's a long time. So a couple of things could happen. Are they playing for right now? You heard Ken Rosenthal saying he was likely going to be in an innings limit. Does that help the Orioles? Probably not. Like, why would you want to rely on a guy to help get you to the postseason who's likely not available in the postseason? So that could have been one. Spot two that he said, they don't think that he can stay healthy long term. It's a possibility. I mean, Grayson's had a laundry list of injuries in his career. Although none of them have been significant at this point, he's missed a considerable amount of time because of it. Does he have an issue with, rehabbing? Does he put the work in? These are questions to be asked. I mean, there's plenty of people out there that could come out and say, like, yeah, he put the work in and it just didn't work out. But just nobody say anything yet. But I don't know. I just keep coming back to teams don't give up on these guys with that long to go. He could miss the next 2 years and you still have 2 more years control of him. And they gave that up. Like, it's just fishy to me. And it's really easy to say the Angels won this trade easily. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Maybe he goes out and wins 15 games a year for the Angels. The Orioles didn't care. Like, that kind of speaks a little bit of volumes to me. I don't know about you guys, but it speaks volumes to me. They didn't care. And they shipped him off for a guy with 1 year left. You can tell me that you're in an all win now mode and whatever. I mean, that's all hoopla, and I'm great and glad to hear it. But let's be honest with ourselves. You're trying to win in 27 and 28 and 29. Why wouldn't you wait on Grayson for an innings limit? Weird things. But one thing I do want to touch on, like I've heard it nonstop. Stop playing for 2028. Stop playing for 2030. Well, this is a kind of move that makes them start playing for 2026. So we got to pick our battles here with things that people complain about. Look, Ken's comments were interesting to me, especially saying that he spoke with people in the Orioles today and basically came out and said that they just have no confidence in him. That could be the reason. Again, would you have 4 years? A lot can happen in 4 years, and it just doesn't seem like something that a good baseball team would give up. And I'm not saying that the Orioles are a bad baseball team and that they made the wrong move. I'm saying something else could be going on we're never going to know about. Could have been a clubhouse issue, could have been a locker room issue, could have been a front office issue, could have been a Grayson issue, could have been a Scott Boras issue. Who's to say the Orioles didn't say, hey, we want to limit your innings this year. How about you pitch out of the bullpen? Who's to say Scott Boras didn't say, hell no? Who's to say Grayson Rodriguez didn't say, hell no? And that caused a beef. We don't know. We do not know. The fact is, they gave up on him for a guy with 1 year control. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. There's no, this team won the trade, this team won the trade. Like, the Orioles looked at this and said, we feel like Grayson Rodriguez not being on our baseball team for the next 4 years makes us a better team right now. Flat out. That's what that trade tells me. And we can argue this to the death, but there's no ways around that. They felt like they were a better baseball team with him not in the building. And it sucks because I love the guy. I thought he was going to be a great dominant arm someday. Still could be. I wish him the best. I don't think LA is the best place for him to go for that to happen, but hey, Mike Maddox knows what he's doing, and who knows? But I don't know. I mean, the thing that kind of caught me off guard with Grayson, we saw the electric fastball all the time. I thought the fastball was damn good. And I literally just made a video 5 days ago about should he move to the bullpen because of how good that fastball was. What was crazy was I didn't even realize that it got hit around so bad. So, I mean, this is his career fastball numbers. He threw it 51% of the time in his career. Teams were 125 for 449 against it, 315 average. A 315 average against a fastball from Grayson Rodriguez, a guy who's called the gas man. 107 Ks, a 23.8% K rate. Respectable. I don't think that's number one stuff by any means for a fastball. 46.8% hard hit rate, 18 doubles, 3 triples, 13 home runs. To me, that's not a number one or a number two type fastball in the big leagues. even though at times it looked like it. It's just, did we fall in love with the guy that Grayson was supposed to be rather than the Grayson that he actually was? Not saying he was bad by any means, but we all saw the same tweets and we all read the same articles. Someone said that Grayson Rodriguez could win a Cy Young someday for the Baltimore Orioles. We didn't see that kind of guy. We didn't see it. And again, the Orioles thought they were a better baseball team. A team that needed pitching thought that they were a better baseball team without him in the locker room for the next 4 years and traded him. Whether his arm's going to fall off or not, he was still 26 years old. You still could have found a way to fix him. I mean, there's John Hopkins is how far away from Baltimore? Not that far, right? You could have found the best surgeons in the world or the best doctors in the world, and you could have got them fixed up and still had 3 more years of Grayson Rodriguez. You chose not to. So I just don't know how to take that. Like it's just odd to me. It's just odd. None of it makes sense. And the biggest question that we probably should ask ourselves is, can Grayson still throw 97 plus miles an hour after all the injuries? We haven't seen it in 476 days to even know. And the last time we did see him was 89 miles an hour. Do I think he's going to stay around 90 miles? No, I don't. But can he sustain 97 going forward? That's the big question. And my biggest question was just, what was his relationship? What led us to this point at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night? And let me kind of get over that too. It was announced at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night, but you know what it didn't say? Pending physical. Like most trades do, or most signings do. Pending physical. That vaunted physical that the Orioles love to give. No. This was immediately the Orioles already had a graphic up that they have acquired Taylor Ward. This trade was done a while ago. And in my opinion, so were the physicals. And or if it wasn't, this was a buy as you see it kind of deal. Whatever you get because of the return that's coming back. I'm not saying Taylor Ward's a bad ball player. I actually like Taylor Ward. But he's still a 31-year-old outfielder. He's turning 32 the second week of December. I think it was like December 14th or something like that. I think I read. But he, a 1-year deal. You could have got, so I think, we don't really know Grayson's true value. He hasn't pitched in 470 days. But you could have got something with prospects, something. They didn't care. No, they want to. Now, why I like Taylor Ward, because he solves a lot of issues. And I know I've been listening to some different, bigger podcasters and bigger shows today, and they're all like, the Orioles' number one need was starting pitching. Sure. Yes. Is it the dire need? I don't know. But you know what I do know? The Orioles' outfield, I believe by WAR, was ranked in the bottom 10. You know what their left field was ranked? 16th. You know what right field was ranked? 15th. You know center field was ranked? 21st. They need outfield. You know who hit the most home runs last year? Was it 17? Cool. Taylor Ward had 103 RBIs. Do you know that would have been the most under the Mike Elias era? So 2019, the most RBIs in Mike Elias' era is Anthony Santander's last year, 102. They've had one guy eclipse 100 RBIs in 7 years. So did Taylor Ward check a lot of boxes? He kind of did. I put out a lineup the other day. How would you feel if this was the opening day lineup and it had Kyle Tucker and Eugenio Suarez in it? But you know why I picked Suarez in there? Because you still needed a little bit more protection. You needed a guy in front of Gunner, you needed a Gunner, and you needed a guy behind Gunner. Why? Because now you don't have to go right after Gunner, or you have to go right after Gunner. You can't pitch around him. You can't try to locate your pitch all 3 times. Now, you got to get a fastball in there, and homeboy going to be ready looking for it. you got to give him some protection. You still got to get somebody in front of him right now, and that needs to be probably Pete Alonso or Bo Bichette or somebody like that, Alex Bregman. But now Ward gets to sit behind him. And listen to me. Ward's going to play every day. He's going to play every single day. And we're going to get into his stats here in a second. There will be no platooning Taylor Ward at all, like I heard today. Why the hell would you do that? The guy hits righties and lefties significantly well. And yes, I see his numbers, and we're going to get to what was very odd about his numbers that I found. But I think he's the exact protection that Gunnar Henderson needs behind him. Just need to fill somebody in front of him. But speaking of these stats, my man's played 695 games, got a 247 career average, 124 doubles, 8 triples, 113 home runs, 345 RBIs, 280 walks to 689 Ks, a 24.3% K rate to a 9.9% walk rate. Both of those are below and above league average. It has gotten worse over the years, I'll admit that. And a 766 OPS in his career. Now, you're looking at a guy that he's going to play every day, regardless. So when I pulled his stats and I looked at his swing metrics and whatnot, 2023 was his best year for average. I think he hit was like it was either 264 or 254. Don't quote me. But his swing path tilt was 29 degrees. And I think he hit 16 home runs that year, although he only played 97 games. 2024, it comes out, and he kind of ups that degree to 31 degrees, and he dropped to 240 or 230. I didn't write these down, but don't quote me. 25 home runs, right? So starts to get a little bit more of the uppercut to his swing, and he'll start hitting a little bit more home runs. Sorry, I'm just reading a Jeff Passan breaking news thing, but it didn't involve the Orioles. And then come 2025, he gets up to the major league average, 32 degrees swing path tilt, and hits 36 home runs and hit 226 or 228. So the average went down when the home runs went up. Kind of what you typically see anyway. Strikeout, same thing. And what I had noticed was, oh man, I wish I had the tweet. Because the K rate, let me try to find it. The K rate is bad, but the chase rate was apparently pretty good. So I had to kind of dig and see why. And somebody actually had asked me why, and I wish I could find it. But basically it was like, oh, here it is. I said, I'd be interested to see how they categorize the chase rate. And I say that because, let me see if I can just take a screenshot for you guys real quick and just put it up. Because it's just easier all around for you to kind of just see it than me just talk about it. All right. So do that. And let's get back to this. Nope, we'll get back to this. And let's go ahead and add this picture from the desktop. So let me kind of scoop it down here a little bit. So waste pitches, he swung at 8 of 194 in the outer zone. So zones 31 through 39, these white zones out here, right? So waste pitches. And he K'd 4 times for a 22% rate. But he only swung at 8 of those. So I don't know how they categorize the chase rate, but the chase rate was absolutely elite. One of the best, even though his K rate was pretty bad. So the chase zone, right, this yellow zone in here, he swung at 89 of 585 K 25 times for a 36% rate. So again, is the chase rate really as elite as it says? I don't know. Shadow is this kind of like, I don't know, like off purple here from 11 to 19. He swung at 482 of those on 1,242 pitches, 113 strikeouts for a 37% K rate. So that's a lot. Basically, most of his strikeouts came out of the zone. So what do we got here? 29, 113, 140-ish of his 175 Ks came out of the zone. One that's good, I guess, which basically just means he's not missing in the middle of the plate. How many times did we see the Orioles swing right through a fastball right down the middle of the plate? So maybe it's okay. I don't know. I'm not really trying to sugarcoat his K rate here. I just thought it was kind of odd that the chase rate was so elite. And are they only basing it off waste pitches? That's what I don't know. But some positives to him here. So running a scoring position here last year, hit 246, 8 home runs, 64 RBIs, had an 819 OPS. Which is pretty good. Pretty good. 23 walks to 48 Ks. So he kept that pretty balanced. I'm pretty happy with that. That would be one of the better players on the team. This guy had more RBIs with runners in scoring position than 90% of the Orioles did last year overall. So whatever. This is what I found the most interesting with Taylor Ward. The home and away splits. My man hit a $188 at home. 15 of his home runs, 49 RBIs, a 666 OPS. Away, which makes me kind of excited, a 915 OPS and hit 268 with 21 home runs and 54 RBIs. Why? Now, like I said, this kind of makes me a little bit of excited because maybe, he has spent his entire career in LA. Entire career. Is he going to come to Baltimore and just be a better hitter? His career numbers in Baltimore weren't great to start. The last, I think it was last 3 games that he's played in Baltimore, he has 2 home runs, and he's hit fairly well. I think he's hit like 250, 4 for 12 or something like that, but two home runs of his 4 hits. So the numbers against the AL East, they're not great. They're not great overall. But, and like Rick says here, you don't hit 103 RBIs if you don't have a clutch factor in you. And I love that you said that. The Orioles need to find guys to get on in front of him at this point. And I'm not even saying that the Angels were that great of a hitting team. They were one of the worst. But they had just enough to get on in front of him. You had Joe Adele, you had Mike Trout, a couple times. But he still found ways to just drive guys in big moments too. But all in all, seeing everything, it's hard to think that this was a bad trade. And I only say that because, like I said prior, the Orioles felt like they were a better baseball team without Grayson Rodriguez in the clubhouse. Why? We're probably never going to know. But that's how they felt, and they made the trade. Rather than kind of riding it out, seeing what they could do, seeing where they could get him to, they just said, nope, we're better off without you for the next 4 years. And we don't care. Probably wasn't that cold-hearted. But when you look at it from above, that's kind of how it looks. And what does it mean for the Orioles? Well, I think it means the Orioles are in prime positions here to acquire a bunch of pitching. A bunch. Whether that be 1 through free agency and 1 through a trade, or 2 through a trade, or 2 through free agency. I don't know. I think you're going to see the Orioles potentially sign 3 to 5 pitchers, before spring training starts, between bullpen and probably starting. I think we've seen enough so far this offseason to know that this isn't the 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24 Orioles anymore. 25 too. That was a pretty bad offseason. This is a new era, and they're trying to win, and they're making moves, and they're bringing in a whole new coaching staff. They're saying the right things that they've never said before, and they go and pull a crazy blockbuster trade. So I am at the point where I'm expecting this offseason to be incredible, and I'll be highly let down if it's not. And I know a lot of people, look, it's easy to say, like, hey, Mike had the money last year, he didn't spend it. Like, these are the Orioles. They're just not going to do it. You're wasting your breath. I don't care. I'm going to keep wasting that breath because I feel like that they're putting themselves in a big position here to go win now. And on the flip side, this helps the Angels. They need pitching. They can't keep anyone on their staff healthy either. Is this a good spot for him? Probably not. But either way, they need pitching. They free up $13 million potentially, and the Angels like to spend money. I could see the Angels going out and buying a bunch of pitching too. So they got their money. They got the arm that they need. I've seen some guys saying that he's their ace already, but he's not their ace. You can't have an ace that's on an inning limit. I mean, you just can't. So I don't know. I don't think it's worth judging this trade, to be honest with you. I think it's a lot deeper than the Orioles just didn't think that he was healthy anymore, and they just traded him. I think it's a hell of a lot deeper than that. And I think it's deeper than the Angels just saying like, oh, we fleeced the Orioles because we got Grayson Rodriguez for 1 year, Taylor Ward. Listen, I said it and I'll say it again. He could go out and win 15 games a year, and I don't think the Orioles care. Because if they thought that he could help this ball club and win 15 games a year, he'd still be here. They don't think he can. And if he does, cool. I think they're still happier without him. That's just my opinion. You can roast me for it all you want. But something happened to where they just thought 4 years of Grayson just wasn't worth it anymore. And it was better off to go get a big time bat that they need in a position that they needed in, and a position in the batting order that they needed it in, 3, 4, 5, wherever you want to slot them at. And I think this is a win-win for both sides. The Angels get to kind of play with him a little bit. They get to kind of see where he can be for the next 4 years. They can see, get maybe some good production. The Orioles get the bat they need right now. I still think he starts in left field probably every single day. I think that Dylan Beavers likely starts in right field every single day. I think there's a potential that we see Tyler O'Neill traded. And I think, look, he's got $33 million remaining on his deal. 2 years, $33 million, 16.5 a year. If you eat 60% of that, the remaining is what, 19.8 for over 2 years. So just say you eat $20 million, right? So you got 13 remaining for 2 years. So $6.5 million a year. You can trade that to almost any team in baseball. And somebody will take the chance on it because Tyler O'Neill has shown in his career that he can hit. And last year, yes, he is hurt all the time, but last year was a completely different type of hurt, which everybody else in the Orioles organization was too. I think there's a spot where you could flip him for a bullpen arm or something. If not, I think he definitely helps the team, but he is likely your platoon player. Does it suck to have that kind of a guy as a platoon player? Sure, but we all know he cannot hit righties. Ward can. He does hit lefties well. Keep him on the bench. He stays healthier a little bit longer. He just gives you platoon options. And I just think Beavers is good enough to where he needs to play every single day. And if you need to, or when Cowser gets hurt again or something like that, you got Beavers who potentially could play center field. I don't want to see Tavares ever walk on my field, hopefully ever. I know he's a pretty good outfielder. He's a pretty decent base runner, but no. You need a guy like that on your team, and I understand it, but I just don't want to see him try to hit. It's ugly. But I just have this little odd feeling. They're either all in on Tyler O'Neill and they really think that they could get 30 home run production out of him somehow and 30 home run out of Taylor Ward, and you have your two corner spots hitting 60 home runs. If they're all in for that, great. Hopefully it pans out. I could just see a scenario where they eat a little bit of money and just try to move him to free up space for Dylan Beavers to play every single day because he deserves it. The guy's young. He hits. He's fast. Pretty decent arm. Could he maybe put a little competition on Colton Cowser for center? Maybe. Never really played it before, but I shouldn't say never. He has logged a couple innings in center field, but not enough. But either way, I think Cowser definitely gets the start. But they still have got other moves. They got to address the first base position. And I know a lot of people like Kobe Mayo are asking what's going to happen with Kobe Mayo. I think Kobe Mayo is a fine player, and I think if he stays in the ball club, they're happy with that. But I do think that out of anybody else that's actually available on the team, Mayo probably holds the best trade value in acquiring a front end arm. And that's probably an easier position to fill because you already have Basayo, and you could deal with Mountcastle for 1 year. You could sign Pete Alonso right now if you wanted to. Taylor Ward has played first base, I believe, a few times. And he's also caught. He was drafted as a catcher. He made the journey, almost the same journey I did, from catcher to third base to left field. And he has played a little bit of first base. When he's playing third, he played a little bit of first. So pretty athletic guy. Almost reminds you of like a Ryan Flaherty a little bit, but it just hits a little bit more from the right side. And I actually asked on Twitter earlier, knowing that he was drafted as a catcher, knowing that he has caught one big league game in 2021, do you feel comfortable allowing him to be an emergency catcher as a third string instead of carrying that roster spot for Alex Jackson all year? This gives you a little bit, maybe another infielder or carrying this fifth or sixth outfielder or whatever they want to do. He kind of opens up that roster a little bit more than Alex Jackson does. So that's something that they can float around with later, but I don't know. A lot to process with all this. So I'm going to get into some of these comments because you guys have been flying off the chains today, and I really appreciate it. Just a lot going on, and let's see. I want that shirt. Oh, thanks. My buddy made it. I'll have to get a couple of them made. The Orioles announcing they trade themselves. It was bold, and I like that. It was definitely bold. And I don't think anybody and their mother expected it. And I wonder how that was like perceived around the industry too. Like, was Jeff Passan pissed, or like was Ken Rosenthal pissed, or somebody like that? That'd be kind of funny. So let's see. I feel like they're more likely to trade O'Neill now with Ward in the fold. O'Neill plus 1 or 2 prospects for Mitch Keller. Does Mitch Keller really move the needle for you though? Like, look, I would take that. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying here. I would take that deal if the Pirates would. I don't know if they would. But I don't know. If Mitch Keller was like a third compliment, I'd be happy. I'm going to go big. I'm going to go bigger. I don't know. Is it possible? I'm telling myself it is. It might not be. I'm telling myself it is to go bigger than Mitch Keller. Bigger even as a number, like a secondary compliment than Mitch Keller. We'll see if that happens or not. I would still take that trade though as like a third guy. I would take Mitch Keller obviously over Povich and Brandon Young right now. Would you rather have a first base Mountie and a trade Mayo for Pablo Lopez? I mean, Pablo's fine. Mayo, you could probably start the package with Joe Ryan with. I think you could probably get Lopez for a little bit less than Mayo if you really wanted to. And I thought it was interesting that the Angels are now looking for a left-handed hitting center fielder. So I laughed, and I forget who even posted it. And I'm like, would they entertain Colton Cowser? Right? I love Colton Cowser, and I would hate to trade him, but listen, if it started a conversation with Jose Soriano and like we got one of their young arms back, I'd be completely all for it. I'm a big Jose Soriano guy, but it's another guy that really can't stay fully healthy, but he's also transitioning from a relief role and he's just got nasty stuff. I missed this. Laura, 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. Guys, if you could thank Laura in the chat for me, I would really appreciate that. If you got a gifted from Laura, thank you. And I'm trying to start. I was actually going to say tonight, once I got to 10, I was going to start releasing my videos to the members first for a couple hours where they could watch it and talk with it with me. And then it would go public. So with that, Laura, thank you. We hit 10, so I don't even have to talk about it, but thank you very much. Now we can start releasing content early to the memberships. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. Looks like Sean got one, Rick got one, Brooks got one, and John M got one, and the Big Fizz. So congratulations to you guys, and welcome to the Bacon Life. So John says, Grayson could never stay healthy, and who knows if he could recover and be what he could be. Is he destined to be Dylan Bundy after his arm surgery? It's a valid question, John. It's a valid question. We don't know where he is. Could he completely rehab back and be to what he was? Sure. Could there be, some mile per hour loss? Sure. Could there be some mental block he's going to have to get over for a little while to really let it hum out? Could be. We don't know. I expect Grayson to have a fairly decent year. I expect fans to lose their mind. And listen, if he goes out and wins 10 games and pitches 120 innings, 130 innings or whatever, even if he wins 8 games, and Taylor Ward comes in here and hits 230, 235, and 35 plus home runs and hits, a plus 800 OPS with runners in scoring position, are either side going to care this year? Probably not. We both got what we needed. Ward is a guy I could see them extending a 2-year arbitration deal to, where they get the number down a little bit this year, and then they extend him out 2 more years. So instead of it being a full $13 million right now, it goes down to like 10, but they give him like a 2-year, $20 million extension, which is like $30 million overall, something different. But if his camp thinks that he's worth more than 30 or something like that in the open market, he's not going to take it, obviously. But I could see them extending him in some capacity here. They've been kind of pushing him a little bit, and they must really like him. Let's see. I bring home the bacon, fry in the pan, never let you forget. I like that, Laura. I like that. Gunnar, Alonso, Ward could be a great 3-4-5. It very well could. Or even Alonso, Gunnar, Ward. I mean, you could play with that any way you want, but there's some protection in that lineup for all 3 of those guys. And that's a great thing. And it's something, look, we haven't had a dedicated 3 and 4 hitter on this team in some time. Gunnar did all his damage as a leadoff when he moved down to the 3-hole. Everything kind of went down a little bit. Still had a solid season, but the power numbers went down. So, again, they still haven't had a real 3 and 4 hitter on this team in some time. Dangerous hitter Gunnar was last year, just not dangerous enough. You get that there, that's a dangerous lineup every single at bat. Even if Gunnar didn't hit 20 home runs, the fact is you still can't put him on base for Pete Alonso. You got to go after him. Could that get him to be hitting 300 or something like that? Maybe, and I'm not going to complain about it. Would I love 40 home runs or 35 home runs? Sure. But if he's getting on, hitting 300 and scoring 120 runs a year, it's all about scoring runs, baby. It's all about scoring runs. Let's see. Guys talking about turkey bacon over here. Chris gives his lineup prediction here. Holiday leading off, Westberg hitting a 2-hole, Henderson in the 3-hole, Alonso in the 4-hole, Ward in the 5-hole, Basayo in the 6-hole. Look, like I just said, that's protection all through this lineup. All through it. And then even if you get back to Rutschman here, I believe this new coaching staff here, who has 21 years of postseason experience, they kind of know what they're doing. They're not coming here to rebuild. They're coming here to push pedal to gas here, or gas to pedal, whatever the hell that is. I don't even know. But they're coming here to make changes and get these guys ready to win. Rutschman's going to go back. I believe he's going to have his good eye again. So, okay, go after Basayo. Rutschman draws a walk, and now you got to deal with Cowser, who has the ability to hit 30 home runs. Dylan Beavers has the ability to hit 260 and probably 15 home runs next year. And then you've got other guys. You got Tyler Neal that could come off the bench and a pitch hit. You've got protection through that lineup rather than right now just when Gunnar was leading off, just Gunnar, and then like Tony in the 3-hole, and there was just that gap in between it because Adley was struggling, and it's 1 through 6 would be pretty decent. I mean, the weak link right now, so we would think, would be Jackson Holiday there, and I wouldn't even call him a weak link. It's just the weaker of those 6 at the moment. Could come out and have a great year. We don't know. Let's see. Dave says, sounds like they assume Tommy John is inevitable. This sounds like something, didn't it? Sounded like something because they wasted no time. Wasted no time. Let's see. Elias is learning from his mistakes. Good to see Grayson is a crybaby. There was times that I had told myself that there was some immaturity out of Grayson Rodriguez. And it was early on in 2023 when I mainly said it. And look, he was young, and it's warranted. There was times where things would go wrong, and he couldn't settle the moment down, and he would let it unravel. I didn't see it as much in 2024. I just feel like with his age and getting older, we were going to see less and less of that. Was he a crybaby? I don't know. Maybe. Doubtful. I don't know. I really don't know. Somebody thought something, that's for sure. This trade is fine, but it should preclude us from getting another big back like Alonso or Tucker. Rube says we have no financial constraints, so why wouldn't we get one of those two guys if they are open to it? You have to. You have to. You can't say those words and then not back it up. In my humble opinion here, those two guys that they are going to try and acquire right now are going to be Bo Bichette and Pete Alonso. Where do you play Bo Bichette? I don't think they care right now. I think they want a bona fide leadoff or top of the lineup hitter who's a veteran and who can do it at the highest level and do it very well and hits with runners to score position, hits with 2 strikes, hit with 2 outs. Doesn't matter. He's a hitter. You find room later. Do you want to move Jackson? Probably not. Would you? Probably not. But if you sign Bo Bichette, would you be open to it? You probably should. Same with Bregman. Get yourself a veteran in that infield. You know, when in a tight situation, a guy that's been there and has seen all these trick plays, I can say, hey, keep an eye out for this. Or, hey, we are going here with the ball no matter what. It'd be nice to have that. Would love either one of those two guys, and I think that's who they're going to keep their focus on for the moment. Who's getting traded? Beavers, Mayo, or Cowser? The Orioles have put me in a position to expect the unexpected this offseason. And I might be alone in that, and I don't care. Any of those three could get traded. And if you want to throw a fourth in there, could be Jackson Holiday. I don't know. Like I said, I'm expecting the unexpected this offseason. I think they've shown me enough to know that somebody's butt's on the line. Somebody's getting fired if they don't win, and they're pulling out all the stops. And quite frankly, I don't think they care who it is right now. If they get the package they want, they're going to send it off. So I think Grayson kind of proved that. So any one of those three that you mentioned right there, I could see at this point. Switching back to Chris's lineup post, might switch Beavers and Holiday. Beavers' leadoff might do pretty well. Never know. This trade sounds like bigger. They can make a big move for an ace in free agency. I'm probably agreeing with you. I think they swing at least one free agent arm, swing at it, and then I think they definitely try to trade for a couple. And from the guy that I talked to, who has connections around baseball and inside of Baltimore, he told me that the Orioles are very active in the trade market right now. They're not done. And they're looking at every single way possible to make this team better. That's all you can ask for. And these trades might happen fast. They might drag out. I don't know. Typically, this time of the year is usually pretty slow in baseball. It's already we had a trade tonight. We had another closer signed tonight. Raciel Iglesias had signed prior to me going live. So things are already moving. So things could move faster this year than previous years. We don't know. But I was told the Orioles are still extremely active in the trade market and to just stay tuned. So, like I said, my expectations are extremely high this year. Not big on adding another high-volume strikeout guy, but I lost all confidence in Great's ability to stay healthy. I don't think you're alone, Wayne. I don't think you're alone. According to Ken Rosenthal, the Orioles felt the same way. So I don't think you're alone. And I think it's very valid to say we wish the guy would stay healthy. I mean, I don't think there's a person in Baltimore that didn't wish success for Grayson Rodriguez with this franchise. It'd be foolish to say. We all wanted him to succeed. Whether you liked him as a person or not, like on the field, we all wanted him to be that guy. Just didn't work out. And it sucks. I wish him the best in LA. It's a great place to play. Beautiful ballpark. I mean, LA's weather is probably better than Baltimore's in terms of humidity and whatnot. But hey, it is what it is. We wish him luck. feel like you got Joe Adele. So I looked into Joe Adele, and I think Ward's a better player. Now, obviously, he's younger. He's got a little bit more control. But overall, I think just Ward's overall a better player. Why will we carry 3 catchers? They all serve a purpose. So who knows? Mayo might be gone. Castro too, 100%. You never know. Sounds like a big ace for this year. Yeah, I do think so. With that, yep. It's somehow hyped up Grayson as now the O's traded him. Shouldn't it? He's probably content here. You were the guy. You got to come in. You were expected to be great. Everybody kind of was waiting on you to go be great. Now you got to go prove it. You weren't drafted here in LA in 2018. Like, you've been with this organization for a while. Everybody knows you. Everybody's comfortable with you. You're probably pretty comfortable. Now you got to go prove it for 4 years. So good for him. I hope it elevates him a little bit. I would love to find that out. Who initiated these trade talks? What if Scott Boras initiated it? That's something that nobody's talked about today. What if the Orioles asked Grayson Rodriguez to go to the bullpen and Boras and Grayson were both like, hell no. And they kept saying, like, that's where we're putting you. If you don't want to pitch, don't play this year, blah, blah, blah. And they finally were just like, trade me. And then Scott Boras initiated it. We no one knows, no one's going to know outside of those walls. Some of us on Twitter will probably find out eventually and never tell anybody. It's just how it works. Not me. I'm not going to ask that question. Don't really care to ask that question of what happened, why he's not here. And I like my guys now. Do I think they were targeting Joe? No. If they really wanted Joe, they would have had Joe. I think Ward's an overall better player and checked more boxes than Joe Adele did. Thinking maybe Grayson wanted a fresh start? It's very possible. I probably shopped him. Who wants an injury-plagued pitcher? That's also very possible. You would think you could have gotten more for Grayson Rodriguez, but we say that because of the Grayson we thought we were going to get. Not the Grayson that we did get, but the guy we thought we were going to get. And the Angels are biting on it too, and the guy they think they could get. So they bid on it. Other teams might not think they're going to get anything, and they weren't offering anything but a couple low-level prospects or something. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know what goes through those things. I'm assuming you're talking about Ward, but he could play first base. Yes, he has logged a couple of major league innings at first base. All he has is power and walks a bit. That's kind of all we need right now. Hit with runners in scoring position. That's what we need. A right-handed bat that could get on base and drive and runs. But hopefully it works out. Starting pitching still a dire need? It is. It is for every team in baseball. But it is for the Orioles. And I don't think they're done. I don't think they're even close. And I do think Beavers is going to play every day, in my opinion. Definitely think he plays every single day. Pete on 2-year, 3-year max. 3-year deal max. The bat speed slows down. Listen, bat speed is great, but it's also not that big of a deal. Like every player is different. Now, if it slows down 3, 4, 5 miles an hour, that's one thing. But 1 or 2, over a year and a half, 2-year, 3-year span, it's not a big deal. I mean, look at Taylor Ward. His bat speed's below 70 miles an hour, which is below major league average, and he still hits well. Yeah, it's just you're going to see a switch back to contact over power, I believe, in the next 2 years. The Blue Jays that was their philosophy this year: contact over power. And I think a lot of more teams, including the Orioles this year, are going to go back to that approach too. I'd much rather have Beavers than O'Neill. I think everybody agrees with you, Rick. Put up decent numbers. He did. He had a great year. Back to that comment again from Rick. You don't hit 103 RBIs. You don't have a clutch factor. 100% agree. James says, terrible trade. I think it's going to work out for both teams, in my personal opinion. It's going to work out for both teams. Rogers more likely to be extended? I sure hope so. I just don't know how long his camp is going to want to wait out to see how good he could be and how much money he can make. Let's see. Paul said, a big right-handed pop in the middle of the lineup. We were atrocious against left-handed pitching. Also need to get protection in the lineup for Gunnar and others. It'd be great to extend him, but it is what it is. Sign another stud pitcher who's actually done it. 100% agree. Grayson might become an ace, but it's actually more likely he gets injured again at some point. Wish him the best. Have to give something to get something. Couldn't agree more, Paul. I couldn't agree more. And listen, we were bad against lefties. And then think about all the top teams in the AL, going into this last season here. But Framber was in Houston. You had Max Fried in New York. And even Rondon's pretty decent. Kansas City had was it Cole Reagans? Was left-handed, and was it Bubic? Was Bubic right? I can't remember if Bubic was not, but Cole Reagans. Who else is pretty good? Garrett Crochet. He's pretty good, isn't he? Tariq Skubal. So you're starting to look at some of the top teams in the AL. And they all have got a left-handed dominant starter. You got to get your left-handed hitting. You got to get it fixed, and Taylor does help that. But he's not just a splits guy who only hits lefty. He hit righties pretty well too. But it's a huge need. If you want to beat one of these teams in a wild card game or in game one of the divisional series or an ALCS or something, you're going to have to beat a very good lefty. You got to get this type of the lineup fixed where they can hit lefties again. And Dustin Lynn's got his It's up to his head in mud for this, but I hope they come out and get everything they got because they have to fix that if they want to compete in the AL. Let's see. Trade Mayo prospects for a starting pitcher, sign another starting pitcher, strengthen the bullpen. That's I look, if they stick with Kobe Mayo, I think they're happy with it, but I think, like I said, he has the most trade value over anybody else to acquire that arm that they need, and I think that's why he's gone. You don't add 21 years playoff experience to your coaching staff to play it safe. 1,000%. 1,000%. Can we trade Tyler O'Neill to Walmart for snacks? As long as they're like fruit snacks. I like fruit snacks. Or Christmas cakes. Great call there, Jabba. I like that. Weird trade by Baltimore. It's going to be perceived as weird. There's no way around it. And we talked about it in the beginning of this show. It is weird that a team gave up on a young kid, a 26-year-old, 4 years control, just gave up on him. So was it injuries or was it more? Who knows? Who knows? I want to make sure I get through everything here. Mayo is now represented by Jay-Z Sports. Yep. Edward says, I'm pretty sure he's talking about when my kid talked about my music. As a father, we can always rely on our kids to keep it real and keep it cemented. Ain't that the truth? He'd tell you, look me straight in the eyes like, it's okay. It's pretty good. It's okay. All right. Pablo Lopez and Robert Suarez. That helps. That helps. Joe Adell for Cowser. That's the same player. Joe Adell has just been in the big leagues longer and has more experience. It finally clicked. It's going to click for Cowser eventually. I am not getting big time at the moment. Chad, thank you very much for becoming a member. I just now seen this, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That gives us 11. Yes, you guys are rocking it for me. I appreciate it. We're going to have to pump out these member-only videos here for a while. The Oinkers grows one more. All right. Do I think Grayson actually pitches in 2026? I do. He's obviously going to be in an innings limit. I just going to be interesting to see if they're going to use him in the starting rotation. Is he going to be in a three inning limit, 4 inning limit? How are they going to do it? They're just going to not care and just throw him out there. I mean, it is the Angels. Who knows? You think the Orioles are trying to avoid an injury fiasco like this year? It's very possible, Rick. Raciel getting $16 million for 1 year sets the closer's market. I think that was about normal. That was about his projected market value, I believe. If not, it might be just a touch over. I do know that Toronto was hot and heavy on him, so maybe they went a little bit above that to bring him back. I'm not really sure. Obviously, he was comfortable enough to take a 1 year deal there. But it's a good start for the market, and I think that's about about the range that I was expecting. Some of the topper end guys. I mean, I think Diaz hits 20, maybe 22. Then Robert Suarez was going to be around 16 to 17. So, but I think I put Fairbanks probably right around 13, probably. Devin Williams probably around 7 or 8. So there's some options out there. Definitely some options. Henderson's leadoff. I don't disagree with that. I think now you have more flexibility, and if you sign Alonso or somebody like that, you have more flexibility to not have Gunnar needed in the 3-hole anymore. Let's see. Classic case when both players and organization need to move on and change the scenery. Very well could be. Very well. Thoughts on an Adley extension while his price is low? Adley's going to be 30 when his contract's up. He's got, 2 more years? Yeah, 2 more years. I would let it play out and see where he's at. This is a big year for him. You got to see if he can hit. If he's not going to hit, either one for power or for contact, like, you got to cut bait at this point. I would never extend him. I think you let it play out, and then maybe extend him that final year, but nothing early right now. I agree with you, Ed. 100% agree with you, and I think it led to some other things. Addition by subtraction. Yep. Orioles were in on Raciel. Could see him a major reliever soon. I'm sure they made a phone call. You should have been on him at least. I don't know. Trading Mountie? Probably. I think definitely trading Mountie, but I think the bigger return would come from Mayo if they really wanted to swing somebody for a top-end arm. The Orioles can't rely on when Shohei Ohtani to pitch for them this year. This is true. It's true. You and everybody else, King. You and everybody else. Look, I'm 37, man. I was there I haven't missed a playoff game. I was there for 97. I was very young. I was there for 97, and I haven't missed, was it 2012 I was there? I was in the nosebleeds against the Yankees. And then, was it 13 or 14 against the Tigers? 14. Excuse me. I was there for both game 1 and game 2 against the Tigers. And then, who did we play after that? I think we lost, was it in 16? I don't remember. I haven't missed a home playoff game, but I haven't seen a win since 2014 in the playoffs. So, with that being said, I'm with you. We need to see it. Let's see. Does this trade make me think they're out on Schwarber or a big bat? No. Nope. I think they're fully in on it. You could see O'Neill flip for a reliever. I could too. They got to eat some money to do it, but I could see it. I think it was a sign by Grayson not caring when he got hammered versus the Rangers and he kept throwing fastballs down the middle, literally no care in the world. That's the immaturity I was talking about a little bit. See, now we're talking. Andrew and I are on the same page right here. I like that. Sign Bregman or Bichette, didn't matter. Move Westberg to second or Bichette to second. Put Holiday in center field or trade for Hunter Green. There's some rumors about Hunter Green being a distraction or a clubhouse issue as well, and that's why they want to move him. Again, rumors. Sometimes change scenery works. If it works for Grayson, if it works for Hunter, then by all means, let's get it done. How much money do I think Robert Suarez gets here? Probably 17. If Iglesias is getting 16, he'll probably get 17, 17 and a half, maybe 18. I could see 18 if somebody's trying to overpay somebody else. Only 26? Enjoy it, brother. I'd like Suarez, Fairbanks, and Coulomb to go with Kittredge and Wells. Coulomb's an interesting one. Is it Taylor Rogers? Cool Whip would know. Sean Whipple, he's in chat sometimes. Taylor Rogers is an interesting guy as well. He's getting a little bit older, but he's still pretty good. But, I mean, I like Suarez. I like Fairbanks. I do like Devin Williams. I don't need him in the 9th, but if Devin Williams is $8-9 million, put him in the 8th. Have the options to go between Kittredge and Wells and Devin Williams and Fairbanks, and then Albert Suarez even could give you some later innings if need be. But having those 4 guys for the last 3 innings to rotate through every so often, I think put your bullpen in a great spot. Who's the first baseman if Mayo is traded? It's going to be Mounty, I think, or Basayo, rotating if they don't sign Pete Alonso. I think they're hot and heavy on Pete Alonso, and they're trying to hammer that out, in my opinion. I have no inside information about that, but I do think they're going after Pete because first base has been abysmal for the last couple of years. They haven't had a guy over 80 RBIs in a while. They have no home run production out of it. It's been a defensive first position for this team for a while. I think they're trying to change that, and I think the only way to do that is to go get Pete Alonso, so or Bellinger. But I don't think the Yankees are going to let Bellinger leave. So I don't know, but I'm just going to do it for me tonight. 9:50 already. I got to get up early in the morning. Laura, I appreciate you for the 5 gifted subs. Chad, thank you very much for your membership as well. I do this for you guys, and I love that you're giving back as well. This is really awesome, and I appreciate every single one of you. Just even coming in here and chatting with me is ecstatic for me. I love all of it. So it's cool to come out here and talk with you guys and interact and whatnot. I've said that before too, Chad. Aberdez came from a dominant bullpen. I'm sure it's a top priority. I'm pretty sure that's what he asked for. When that game got to the 7th inning, like he knew the game was over and he was content with that. So, but thank you from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you for tuning in tonight. Listen, it's okay that this trade happened. I'm at peace with it in my heart already. Whether Grayson is still good or not, I don't care. I think this was a win for both teams. Everybody got what they wanted. So thank you guys, and I will catch you all later and hope you have a great night. Peace.